Have you ever looked up at the night sky? I mean, really looked. Past the city lights, past the airplanes into that deep, dark, star-dusted velvet. A question might pop into your head. A big one. Are we alone? But maybe the question is wrong. Maybe life here came from out there. So, what do we call this wild idea? This concept that life is a cosmic traveler? The scientific name for it is panspermia. Let's break that word down. It comes from two Greek words, pan, which means all, spermia, which means seeds. So, panspermia literally means seeds everywhere. It's the hypothesis that the fundamental building blocks of life, or even simple life forms themselves, are not confined to one planet. Instead, they are distributed throughout the universe. They drift through the interstellar void, waiting for a chance to land on a habitable world, like a cosmic castaway washing ashore on a new island. It's a beautiful and simple concept, really. This isn't about little green men in flying saucers, not at all. Panspermia operates on a much smaller, more fundamental scale. We're talking about microscopic life. Think of incredibly resilient bacteria, other microorganisms. These are the seeds. Okay, so we have these tiny life seeds, and we have a theory that they can travel the cosmos. But how, exactly? The vacuum of space is not a friendly place. Freezing cold, intense radiation, no air, no water, no nutrients. Any journey would be long, thousands of years, or even millions. It sounds like a one-way ticket to oblivion. How could anything, even the toughest microbe, survive? Nature is incredibly resourceful. The universe provides a few potential modes of transportation. Natural spaceships of the Panspermia Theory, meteoroids, asteroids, comets. Let's start with meteoroids. Big impact. Asteroid or comet slams into a life-bearing planet, maybe early Mars. Catastrophic blast ejects tons of rock and soil into space. Some rocks are large enough to shield microbes from initial heat. In space, the rock becomes a miniature bunker. Outer layers absorb UV and cosmic rays. Interior stays cold and stable. Microbes enter suspended animation. Comets are another possibility. Dirty snowballs, ice and dust with organics. Cosmic refrigerators, preserving contents in a deep freeze. A comet skimming an atmosphere could scoop airborne microbes. This all sounds like a great story. But is there any actual evidence to support the idea of panspermia? Is this just a fun thought experiment? Or do we have real clues pointing to its possibility? The answer is yes, we do. Scientists have been finding intriguing pieces of the puzzle, both here on Earth and out in space. We haven't found a smoking gun, no alien bacteria crawling out of a freshly fallen meteorite. But the circumstantial evidence is compelling. It suggests that the key components of the panspermia theory, survival in space and interplanetary transport, are scientifically plausible. These clues come from meteorite analysis and amazing experiments in astrobiology. First, let's talk about meteorites. These are rocks from space that survive the fiery plunge through our atmosphere and land on Earth. Some of them are incredibly special. A handful of meteorites found in Antarctica and other parts of the world have been identified as originating from the planet Mars. We know this because their chemical composition and trapped gases match the data our rovers have collected on the Red Planet. This is proof positive that rocks can, and do, travel from one planet to another. It means lithopanspermia, blasting a rock off a planet and having it land on another, is a fact of nature. The cosmic delivery service is real. But what about the passengers? Could life survive that trip? To test this, scientists have conducted some truly mind-blowing experiments. In one famous experiment called Biomex, bacteria, lichens, fungi were placed on platforms outside the International Space Station. They were exposed to the full vacuum of space and bombarded with intense solar and cosmic radiation for months. When they were brought back to Earth, an astonishing number of them survived. Like any great scientific idea that challenges our perspective, panspermia has its share of passionate supporters and staunch skeptics. It's a theory that lives in the fascinating gray area between established fact and wild speculation, which makes for a lively and important debate. The champions of panspermia see it as an elegant solution to some of biology's toughest questions. The challengers point to the enormous hurdles and argue for a more down-to-earth explanation. On the side of the supporters, you have figures like the late, great astronomers Sir Fred Hoyle, Chandra Wickramasinghe. They were among the most vocal and persistent advocates for panspermia in the 20th century. They argued that the jump from non-living chemistry to a living cell is so stupendously improbable that it's unlikely to have happened on Earth in the relatively short time available. They proposed that life must be a cosmic phenomenon, originating once, perhaps many times in the galaxy, and spreading ever since. They pointed to things like the sudden appearance of life in the fossil record, the genetic complexity of even the simplest organisms, as evidence that life arrived here fully formed from space. More modern proponents tend to take a more moderate view. They might not argue that complex cells arrive from space, but they are very interested in the idea of molecular panspermia, the delivery of organic building blocks. Seeing microbes survive the conditions of outer space makes the idea of an interplanetary journey seem far less fanciful. They argue that if the transport mechanism exists, which it does, then we must consider panspermia as a serious hypothesis. While the evidence is intriguing and the debate is exciting, panspermia is still a theory filled with big, unanswered questions. It's a giant cosmic puzzle, and right now, we only have a few of the edge pieces. Filling in the rest will require new technologies, new missions, new ways of thinking about biology and astronomy. These unknowns are not a weakness of the theory, they are a roadmap for future exploration. The most fundamental unanswered question is the origin of the origin. If life didn't start on Earth, where did it start? Mars, Europa, Enceladus, a distant exoplanet? Until we have a plausible theory for abiogenesis on another world, panspermia feels incomplete. We know some microbes can survive for a few years in space. But can they survive for 1 million? 10 million? Galactic cosmic rays could be the ultimate deal breaker. Is there a best by date for life in space? We just don't know. Then there's the arrival. Most meteors burn up, meteorites superheat outside, the landing is violent, and any survivors face a new world. Would their biology be compatible with Earth's chemistry? A successful seeding event needs many improbabilities to align. We need more data. Ultimate proof? Find life on another world that shares a common ancestor with us. Until then, panspermia remains tantalizing, unproven. So where does this leave us? We stand at a fascinating crossroads in our understanding of life. We have one story, rooted in the soil, rooted in the seas of our home planet. It's a story of a chemical spark in a primordial soup leading to the grand branching tree of life. And then we have another story, a cosmic one, written in the trails of comets, written in the dust of asteroids, whispering that our deepest biological roots might lie in the soil of another world, light years away. Both stories are profound. Both seek to answer the same question. Where do we come from? Science lets us follow the evidence. The search is well underway. Every meteorite we analyze, every extremophile we discover, every rover we send to Mars, the James Webb Space Telescope peering into exoplanet atmospheres, missions planned to drill beneath Europa and Enceladus. The seeds of life may be everywhere. Panspermia gives us a sense of cosmic connection. Next time you look up at the night sky, don't just wonder if there's life out there. Wonder if it's the same life. By asking big, bold questions, we continue the journey. A journey to find our true place in the cosmos. Keep looking up.